All right, it's now time to do our NFL predictions for week number 1 of the 2025 season. We've done these NFL predictions, I don't know, probably for the last three or 4 years at least. And there's going to be 4 of us making predictions this year, myself and my 3 sons. Ethan, who is turning 18 at the end of September, Brady, who is 15, and Lincoln, who just turned 6 yesterday. So we're going to do our predictions for week number 1. And of course, if you're a football fan and you're watching this, you know that the Philadelphia Eagles won the Super Bowl last year. Unfortunately, if you've never watched this channel before, or you've never watched these predictions before, we are Dallas Cowboys fans. I grew up a Cowboys fan. My oldest son, Ethan, is a Cowboys fan. My middle son, Brady, is kind of a Cowboys fan. And Lincoln, who's 6, also likes the Cowboys because we like the Cowboys. And I also realized they haven't won the Super Bowl or really been relevant for 30 years now, 1995, last time they won the Super Bowl. And the Eagles are their rival, and we hate the Eagles. Now, also am a Colts fan. We like the Colts. We kind of root for the Browns. They're the closest team to us. They're not our team. There's some other teams we also kind of like. Brady is a Baltimore Ravens fan. I don't know how that happened, but he is. And so we're going to make our predictions, and starting with tonight's game, the Dallas Cowboys actually heading to Philadelphia to take on the Super Bowl champion Eagles. Now, we said we're Cowboys fans, but we're also realists. We all have Eagles winning. Now, could Dallas win? Of course. Even though they haven't been relevant and into the Super Bowl for 30 years, honestly, I don't know what the matchup record is, because I don't know if they did last year, but usually it's kind of a split thing. Cowboys usually win 1, Eagles win 1. Sometimes Eagles win 2, sometimes Cowboys win 2. I don't think that's the matchup record is that much toward Philadelphia over the last 30 years, but I'm not sure on that. But we all got the Eagles winning. They're the champs. How can you, in their home, how can you pick against them? And then there's going to be a special Friday night game. It's going to take place right here on YouTube. It's a game that's taking place in Brazil. I think this might be the first game in Brazil. I'm not sure on that. We got the Kansas City Chiefs, the team that was also in the Super Bowl last year, the AFC champions, who got killed by Philadelphia, taking on the Los Angeles Chargers. This is a divisional game. Chargers are supposed to be improved. I always liked Jim Harbaugh. At least I did until he went to Ann Arbor again. I've liked him as a coach. He was the quarterback for the Colts at one time. Like I said, I'm a Colts fan, so I kind of started liking him then, followed him through college. Stopped liking him when he was a cheater in Michigan. Of course, we do live in Ohio, so we're Buckeyes fans. But I still kind of have a place in my heart for Jim Harbaugh, even though, I don't know. Anyway, we all got the Chiefs winning. Chiefs, they got beat last year. They're probably not as good as they were. Chargers are supposed to be better, but we all still took the Chiefs. Then moving on to Sunday's game, Cardinals versus the Saints. I don't think either one of these teams are supposed to be that good, but we all have Cardinals being better than the Saints. Saints, at least last year, were one of the worst, and I don't think much has changed. So we all got the Cardinals winning. Lincoln went with the Panthers. Brady, Ethan, and I went with the Jaguars. I think Panthers are supposed to be improved. Jaguars, I think, overall are the better team. So Ethan, Brady, and I went with the Jaguars. But, I think really either one of those teams could win. And really, week 1 is very hard to make those predictions because you really don't know who's going to be good this year. We might have an idea, but I don't know. You got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers taking on the Atlanta Falcons, a team that's always you think they might be good. Atlanta. Lincoln went with Atlanta. Brady, Ethan, and I have the Bucks. You got Baker Mayfield. I think the Bucks are going to be better. I think they win that division. It's kind of a weak division anyway. We all have the Steelers winning. I mentioned being a Dallas Cowboys fan, and we live in Ohio. The Browns are the closest team to us. We're not super diehard Browns fans, but we all hate the Pittsburgh Steelers. And we actually were in Pittsburgh back in June, coming back from vacation on the East Coast. And we stopped in Pittsburgh and walked around the stadium. Beautiful city. A lot of history. They know how to run a team, that's for sure. But we all have Pittsburgh winning. The Jets were bad last year. I don't think that's going to change. But really, Steelers, I don't know how good they'll really be. Bengals, Browns, a matchup of Ohio. I went with the Browns. They're in Cleveland. The boys all took the Bengals. Of course, the Bengals got Burrow. They were in the Super Bowl a few years ago, but really haven't been good since. Browns, they're the Browns. So who knows what's going to happen. I got the Browns winning. The rest of the boys took the Bengals. Dolphins versus Colts. Both these teams were just okay last year. Like we mentioned, I do like the Colts. I went ahead and went with the Dolphins. Lincoln and I got the Dolphins here, and Brady and Ethan took the Colts. Well, once again, I think this could go either way, and I'm not sure how good these teams are either one's going to be this year. Brady and Ethan both have the Las Vegas Raiders beating the Patriots. Lincoln and I went with the Patriots. We mentioned, I said we went by the Steelers Stadium, walked around. We actually ate lunch at the Patriots Stadium in Foxborough in Massachusetts when we were over there on the East Coast. Not a Patriots fan, but we do like Travion Henderson, who's looked good in preseason. He's a Buckeye, of course. And Lincoln and I both went with the Patriots. The boys, Ethan and Brady, got the Raiders. Lincoln with the Giants. Now, Lincoln is 6. He just turned 6 yesterday. The Giants, I think, could be the worst team in football. The Commanders were so improved last year. I don't know if they'll keep that up. Everybody else has the Commanders, though, at home in Washington. And then we move on to the late Sunday games, Titans and Broncos. Broncos are the team that everybody's talking about. Bo Nix, they're going to be improved. Of course, they're in that Chiefs-Chargers division. We all got the Broncos beating the Titans. Well, I'm not sure. I haven't kept up with it. We'll see if Cam Ward is the starter. I don't know if that's the case. We also all have the Niners. I'm not a 49ers fan. I should have went with Seattle. I kind of leaned in towards Seattle. No more Geno Smith, but we all got the Niners winning that game. We'll see. Niners had a lot of injuries last year. I don't know if that's changed. Probably one of the biggest games of the week, the Lions versus the Packers. Of course, being a Cowboys fan, don't like seeing Micah Parsons in Green Bay. I went with Green Bay winning, Packers at home. I don't know if the Lions would keep up with how good they've been the last couple of years. I think they're going to go down a little bit, but I think either one of these teams could win. Will the Packers be great? We keep talking about this could be the team this year. I don't know. I went ahead and went with the Packers at home. Everybody else took the Lions. Texans at Rams. Ethan and Lincoln have the Texans and C.J. Stroud. But Brady and I went with the Los Angeles Rams. Once again, I'm not sure how either one of these teams are going to be this year. Kind of in the middle of the pack. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. And then we got the Sunday night game, which is the Ravens and the Bills. This could be the game of the week. I mentioned the Lions, Packers. We all have the Bills. I probably should have went Ravens here, but they're in Buffalo. They're at home. Will they be as good as the Bills be as good? I think the Ravens will be good. I think the Bills will be good too, but we all got the Bills. Who knows? This could go either way. And then myself, Brady, Ethan took the Minnesota Vikings, and Lincoln went with the Chicago Bears at home. This is week number 1. Like I said, week 1 is like one of the hardest weeks to predict because I really don't know who's going to be good, and some of the teams you think are going to be good turn out not to be, and then everybody's just kind of finding their way. So could be some upsets as well. Week number 1 of the NFL. Enjoy it. We'll be back next week. We'll give an update of how we did, and we'll be moving on to week number 2.